God bless you, everybody. Welcome to the I Game. Well, life has taught us that it's not about I, it's not about me, it's not about us, it's about God. But I love God. And we're going to continue with the I series. We're going to continue talking about how we value ourselves and how we love ourselves. But we have to remember to put God first, because there is no I without the Creator. He put us here, He sent us here, He has an agenda, and when we connect to Him, we get everything we want and need. And when we have God on our team, we have to win, regardless of how we feel, regardless of what's going on around us. You have to win because you're connected to the Creator. And the Creator has never failed. Sometimes it feels that way because we let our feelings become idols, but He's still in control. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I am in control, or is God in control? The 5 I's in Isaiah 14, if you get a chance, read that chapter. I will, I will, I will. What we have to start doing is say, I will obey, I will submit. Because we want to be in control sometimes. And I've talked about that in previous videos. I talked about that a lot in season 1 because I was sharing my testimony, because it was all about I. And I failed a lot because I cut out God. So today we're going to talk about I am in control, but God should be in control. Because God is the King and Jesus is King. So if you think about what's going on in your life, think about your biggest problem, your biggest failures, the traps, the people in your life that shouldn't be there, and how did you get in that current condition? Like, who made these choices and decisions that got you where you are? Like, when you win, you want to take the credit for it. When you lose, do you take the credit for it? Who's really in control? Is God in control, or are you in control? And all of this is founded on one statement. Like, I heard this earlier today. I heard somebody preach this many, many years ago, but I heard it again today. The king has one more move. That is it's a victorious idea, it's a victorious concept, because if the king is God, you know you're gonna win regardless of what's going on. But if you're the king, what are you gonna do when everything goes wrong? All of your decisions got you into that predicament. How are you gonna now make the right decision to get out? If every choice you made over the last 5, 10, 15 years created this calamity, got you in debt, got you in the hospital, got you sick and overweight, got you miserable, every decision you made led to you being divorced 2 or 3 times, what are you gonna do now to fix it? Honestly, you can't, because all your decisions created the problems. Because when we make the decisions, we have a tendency to go for temporary pleasures and temporary moments of self-gratification and glory. But down the line, you realize those were the wrong choices. That's our problem. We're always thinking about right now or tomorrow. God is the ultimate chess player. God makes a move thinking about who your grandchildren are going to be. That's why we have to keep God first. God will make a decision that will keep you married for 50 years. The choices we make us happy this weekend, and then your husband hates you tomorrow. Your wife hates you next week. Because when we're the kings, it's always something immediate. Like, that's the value of prayer. Prayer produces humility and patience. When you pray, you become the chess player instead of the soccer player who has to score right now and dribble real quick. You know, a lot of quick movements and quick adjustments. That's like soccer. God is the chess player. God will make a move because He's thinking about your kids and which college your children are going to go to. And I know that for a fact. Like, there are times I've gone to restaurants and I literally heard the voice of God say, get out. And at the moment, it don't make sense. But how do I know if I stayed there and ate the wrong food, I'd ended up in the hospital for 30 days? How do I know? You just have to trust God, because He's the ultimate chess player. But yeah, the king has one more move. If you're in a problem, just stop and wait for God to make that last move. Like, I'm a chess player. I'm not a master, but I'm a chess player. So I know what it's like to go down to the 2 or 3 pieces and still win, because the king always has one more move. You could lose all your chess pieces and be stuck with 3, and your opponent could have 11. And I've won games like that, because the king always has one more move. That's also true in life. If Jesus is your king, God can make one decision that'll fix everything that you ruined in the last 20 years. I've watched this happen. I'm 44 years old. I can give you 1,000 testimonies of how many times I've done everything wrong, but I sat down, I shut up, and I prayed. And God made one move, and everything in my life was fixed in one moment. Because the king always has one more move. Who's the king? Is it you or is it God? And our power and our freedom comes from obedience. You have to just sit there and wait for God to tell you left, right, or left, to go forward or to go backwards. Sometimes God's gonna tell you to just sit down. That's how we know, that's how I know he's God. Nobody's ever gonna change that, ever again. There were moments God literally told me to sit down and shut up, and that's exactly what I did, and everything in my life was fixed. Because he's gonna win. There are also times when God will use you to make an example to everyone else, and he will allow tragedy and pain and failure. God will allow people to throw eggs on you. And I'm gonna be nice about it. I could say some very descriptive words, but there are times when God will allow people to throw eggs on you and stab you in the back and spit on you and stop right there. But God will allow these things to happen and tell you to sit down and shut up. And everyone who hurt you and insulted you will lose without you moving a muscle. I've watched this happen in my life. Because he's God, and everybody's gonna know it because you didn't do it, he did it. And those same people have come back to me on their hands and knees like, yo, forgive me, I'm sorry. People have literally insulted me to my face and then came back to me for help a month later because they know I'm the one with the integrity that they can trust. This has happened over and over again in my life because the king always has one more move. God is not done with you. He's not done with your marriage. He's not done with your children. He's not done with your education. He's not even done with your health. If you woke up today, you're still here for a reason, and he's gonna fix whatever needs to be fixed if you obey. The problem is obedience, because you want to be the king. You can't be the king. He's the king. And as long as he's the king, you're gonna get everything you need because he created you and he knows what you need. He knows your future. He's not done. And you also have to remember your emergency is not God's emergency. Because he's God. He has no emergency. He's just waiting for you to obey. So regardless of the circumstances, God still has another move. And there are, there's still those other questions. Like my baby brother died. I don't have an answer for that, but God does. And if God wants to, he'll give me a reason and he'll answer me one day. But I'm not going to hold him to it because he's God. He don't have to explain anything to me. God is the only one who knows why my baby brother died. And God is so good, I'm not even going to force him to give me an answer because he doesn't owe me anything. It's a miracle I'm alive with some of the decisions I made. That's the miracle. I just thank him that I'm still here after all the stuff I did, all the dirt I did. So just think about your life. How good is it? How bad is it? God still has one more move. It's not over. You didn't lose yet. But if you think you're losing, if you're lost, just remember the king has one more move. So give the king control of your life. The decisions you made got you in this current predicament. Let the king take over. And we can finish this later. Peace. God bless you.